The world is hitting China where it hurts the most. Tonight on Gravitas, we'll tell you about a 5-point retaliation that is underway, a 5-point plan to make China pay. 1. The pushback by the people of Hong Kong. 2. The US trying to raise Hong Kong at the United Nations Security Council. 3. The US sanctions over Uyghurs in China. 4. America ending its special status to Hong Kong. And 5. Taiwan backing the people of Hong Kong. Let me tell you more about them one by one. Retaliation number 1, the pro-democracy protesters are back on the streets. Over the weekend, they defied the lockdown. They began their campaign against Beijing. All through the week, we have seen protests. Despite an aggressive crackdown from the Hong Kong police, 360 people have been arrested in Hong Kong, but that has not stopped the protesters. More have followed. The anger is palpable. The pro-democracy protesters have declared that they will fight back. And they are fighting. Retaliation number 2. This comes from the Trump administration. It wants to make the status of Hong Kong an international issue. It tried to raise Hong Kong at the United Nations Security Council. America called for an emergency meeting only to be blocked by China. The US said that the issue of Hong Kong is, quote-unquote, a matter of global concern. China said it was an internal matter. The same China that raises internal matters of other countries at the UNSC is now being given a taste of its own medicine. China's ambassador to the United Nations posted 2 statements. He called America the troublemaker of the world. Look who's talking. The US says that the Communist Party is afraid, so it blocked the virtual meeting. America failed in its bid to raise Hong Kong at the United Nations, but it succeeded in making the noise and embarrassing China. Retaliation number 3. The Trump administration declared that Hong Kong is no longer autonomous. This wasn't just another statement or a comment from a lawmaker. This came from the US Secretary of State. Mike Pompeo notified the US Congress, that is America's parliament. The US has maintained a special relationship with Hong Kong. They used to treat Hong Kong as a separate entity, separate from China. So different rules applied. And this allowed Hong Kong to become a global financial hub. That may be over too. Donald Trump wants to end all special treatment. So far, the US has not revoked any of the special privileges, but it seems to be heading in that direction. What are these special privileges? American sanctions on China do not apply on Hong Kong. Hong Kong is protected from US sanctions. It is not subjected to the high tariffs slapped by Donald Trump on Chinese goods. All of this could be history. And this will be a big blow to mainland China because China uses Hong Kong's currency, its equity and debt markets to attract foreign funds. The bulk of the FDI in China is channeled through Hong Kong, and now Beijing's moves could kill its biggest cash cow. Retaliation number 4 comes from the US Congress. The US Congress has approved a bill calling for more sanctions on China. This is a punishment for the persecution of Uyghur Muslims. The bill calls for sanctions against those who are responsible for the crackdown against Uyghurs in China. US lawmakers are also targeting specific members of the Communist Party. This bill singles out Communist Party Secretary for Xinjiang, Chen Quanzhao. It accuses him, and I'm quoting, of gross human rights violations. Chen is also a member of the Politburo, a group of 25 people who control the party, the ruling party in China. The bill will now go to the White House, where US President Donald Trump is expected to sign it. He can technically veto it, but that seems highly unlikely. Donald Trump wants to use all the ammo he can get against China. The 5th and final retaliation, and this is from Taiwan. Taiwan has offered help to the people of Hong Kong. On Wednesday, President Tsai Ing-wen published a Facebook post. Remember, China calls her a separatist. The president of Taiwan said that Taiwan's executive branch will come up with a humanitarian action plan, something that will allow the people of Hong Kong to flee Chinese crackdown. They'll be allowed to settle in Taiwan. So here's how things stand. China passed one tough law to show the world that it's in control. The world hit back with 5 moves. China has only dug itself a bigger hole.